And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the loudest, best sounding station possible. But long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, "If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout." And today we're currently featuring over 2,400 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word logbook. And we also have a new series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of Qsos, such as, one segment's called Something to Crow About. That's KC9VKV Highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting, a 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have the actual audio masters from all along the way. Over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio documentaries. You'll have to check it out and subscribe. Jim's Radio Story on a YouTube search. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher degree of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia, trying to get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Now the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also today on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR specially oriented resonant dipole antenna. One leg of this dipole runs broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg runs broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today we'll be running our input source indicator, so when we switch from an internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog Network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you will protect everyone, especially our elderly. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this part of the band has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their bandpass to no wider than 100 to 2900. And again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog Network. And now let's check in and see if Charlie K1GZL is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up north in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Yes, beautiful copy. KC9VKV, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Well, we had a QRMer. Well, you know, we got them all. Just pray for them, I guess. When they deliberately interfere with our radio transmissions, it's a way of striking back and a way of getting even against a perceived enemy. You represent a threat to them, and they hate you for it. The QRMing brings them temporary joy and a sense of satisfaction as they try to obliterate you. But anyway, Charlie, you made it through most of the way. Unfortunately, your power is down just a little bit at the moment, but you made it through most of the way. Roger, Charlie?
Just a little bit at the moment, but you made it through most of the way. Roger, Charlie?
Okay, Roger. I have a little bit of Captain...
is that I have the actual audio masters from all along the way.
Jim, let me start in about 30 or 40 minutes. I'll break in and give you a call in 30 or 40 minutes. This is deliberate interference. Go ahead.
KC9VKV, and when I come face to face with mental illness, I feel led to prayer. So this is my prayer for the mentally ill. Or Lord, I confess that I have judged those who struggle with mental illness. I have judged because I do not understand. Forgive me for making assumptions. Forgive me for my indifference. Oh Lord, please hear my prayer. Comfort and relieve those who are troubled in mind and spirit. Bring them hope and peace, and the consolation of loving community. Grant patience and courage to the families and friends of those who are mentally ill. Increase their ability to cope as they face the challenges of recovery. O Lord, protect and defend those living with mental illness. We seek your presence in their lives. Show them how to have a greater respect for their fellow man, and increase our ability to communicate with the mentally ill. This is KC9VKV, and my prayer for the mentally ill QRMer.
And my prayer for the mentally ill QRMer.
K9, Charlie Echo, go.
Charlie Echo Station, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
Charlie Echo Station, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
Kilo 9, Charlie Echo, go.
Charlie Echo Golf, Roger, what's the name there?
Charlie Echo Golf, Roger, what's the name there?
My name is Chris, Charlie Hotel Romeo India Sierra, over.
Roger, Chris, and whereabouts are you located, sir?
Roger, Chris, and whereabouts are you located, sir?
I'm in Campbellport, Wisconsin.
Roger, Roger, and what radio are you running today, sir?
Roger, Roger, and what radio are you running today, sir?
I'm running an ICOM 7300 with a Ohio ICM microphone with about 500 watts, over.
Roger that. Well, if you'd be interested in our setup procedure, if you would, why don't you give me about 10 seconds and let me listen to you for a moment, and we'll take it from there. So go ahead and tell me about your antenna system.
And we'll take it from there. So go ahead and tell me about your antenna system.
Okay, yeah,
Feeling unwanted and off place without and career off place
and spreading American.
Over these dark moments, Lord, you are always near to us, especially when you're being challenged by those suffering from, especially when you're being challenged.
Yeah, Chris, well, our job's cut out for us today. You know, these QRMers, it's unfortunate that they, you know, I guess, you know, the country's cut back on mental illness help. I guess that's what it is. You know, when, you know, people don't get proper help, particularly our QRMers, they just get rambunctious, and it's hard to help them when they get so upset, you know.
To help them when they get so upset, you know.
Yeah, it seems that we've slowed down on helping the illness, but we slowed down on helping it, but not we as in me, but some people seem to be promoting it, over.
Yes, well, you know, they've got, you know, if they don't do this, they'll be out killing people, you know, so I guess this would be the less of the evils for them.
People, you know, so I guess this would be the less of the evils for them.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, we'll let you get back to your net. Just wanted to jump in and say hi, and we'll let you get back to your net and take some other calls. K9 Charlie Echo Golf.
Charlie Echo Golf, Roger, Roger. 73 to you, sir. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate that. Audio sounds really good there on that radio. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Hey, I'll take that offer. Here's Baker H. Victor Golf Echo.
Victor Golf Echo. Roger, Roger. Come back with that call sign again phonetically.
Roger, Roger. Come back with that call sign again phonetically.
Roger. Here's Whiskey Baker 8, Victor Golf Echo. Whiskey Bravo 8, Victor Golf Echo. Name here is Mike, Mary India Kilo Echo, located in the northeast part of the state of Ohio. Go ahead.
Roger, Roger, Mike, in Ohio. And what radio are you running, sir?
Roger, Roger, Mike, in Ohio. And what radio are you running, sir?
Oh, it's a classic. A Drake TR4. It's all spread over across my workbench right now. I've had trouble with the box circuit in it for some strange reason, and I don't know if I quite got it right or not. So, anyway, just how's the old girl sounding? I know a 1970 technology. Here's Whiskey Baker 8, Victor Golf Echo.
Roger, Roger, Mike. Now, are you running a box with that, or are you going direct?
Roger, Roger, Mike. Now, are you running a box with that, or are you going direct?
Oh, I'm just running a push-to-talk right now, and there's no amplifier. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Well, it sounds like you might be just a little tight on your loading. I would suggest backing off your loading about maybe 5 to 10%. It sounds just a little tight, Roger.
10%. It sounds just a little tight, Roger.
All right, well, how's that? I just cranked her down about a notch and a half, and I'm using a Shure 444D microphone, which is supposed to be a good match for the old Drake. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Now, do you have a flashing light for your modulation level?
Your modulation level?
Oh, heavens no. Basically,
you adjust the mic gain until you get deflection on the plate current.
Oh, Roger, Roger. Well, then, why don't we just, if you've got just a moment, maybe we'll see where that tightness is coming from. If you were to back off your mic level about 10% and give me another shot, and let me listen to it that way. Roger, Roger?
Percent, and give me another shot, and let me listen to it that way. Roger, Roger?
Okay, well, we backed off a fairly good amount. It's probably, right now at the 9 o'clock position, I had it at basically 12 o'clock. And, yeah, this is kind of old technology. There's no ALC indicator on it. You basically just talk until you get some plate deflection on the plate current. Here's Whiskey Baker 8, Victor Golf Echo. I need your call for my log.
Roger, call sign here is KC9VKV, Kilo, Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo, Victor. And when you backed off your mic level, the same distortion was there. So go ahead and put your mic back at whatever level it was before time. And again, it could be loading, and maybe you need to unload the other way than what you did. I'm assuming that you have a plate tune situation there?
I'm assuming that you have a plate tune situation there.
Yeah, the old Pi network. Right now, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to crack the... Oh, that's probably too much. That's just about as low as I can get the mic gain and still produce a little bit of an RF signal. Yeah. It could just be the microphone, too. A good Lord, this thing is probably 50 years old still.
Yes, sir. It's not the mic level that's the problem. It's like it's loaded out too far and it becomes nonlinear in the output stage. You know, when you load out too far, then you have nonlinearity on the output stage, and it sounds like that's what's happening. So, maybe back off the other way. There's two ways to back off. Try backing off the other way, and that would be cleaner probably.
Back off. Try backing off the other way. That would be cleaner probably.
All right, let me go into tune one, and I'll go ahead and drop the loading back. Hang on. That dropped the loading back just a little bit.
Give me a little chatter there and let me listen to you.
Give me a little chatter there and let me listen to you.
All righty. Well, like I said, this is an old classic. Got a whole room full of brakes. I went to put this on the shelf last night. I thought, see if it still transmits. Yeah, it did transmit. Back over the switch again. Here's Whiskey Baker 8, Victor Golf Echo.
Roger, Mike. Well, the thought you've got plate and load, and I would go for max out, and then I would back my load off one way and repeat plate and see what that did, and then I would go back to max out and go to load off on the other way and retune, and one of them is going to be better than the other,
retune, and one of them is going to be better than the other,
Yeah, let me give that a try on. Stand by.
I'm sitting right here with a TR4C that I haven't run in quite a while, but I used to run those just once a week just to keep it lit up occasionally.
Once a week just to keep it lit up occasionally.
Jim, when you finish this station, I got my ST818 on now, NA3B.
Oh yeah.
Sweet tooth, I'm loving that.
Oh yeah.
Good thing I got a fan on them. Anyway, I loaded up, peaked the plate, dropped the load a little bit, repeaked the plate, dropped the load again, and I think that's about as good as we're going to get it right now. Here's Whiskey Baker 8, Victor Golf Echo.
Roger, Mike. Well, Mr. Drake is probably up in heaven just biting his fingernails. But, I understand. The real challenge for that radio is when you take it up to 10 meters. It's like you better bring your saddle because you're in for a heck of a ride, because that thing does tend to up and down, and you do have to play catch up on the tune quite a bit on 10 meters. Roger.
You have to play catch up on the tune quite a bit on 10 meters. Roger.
Yeah, that's probably not a band I'd even put this thing on. I've got a whole shack full of radios that run rings around this old girl. 15 meters would probably do an okay job, but I just don't believe I would go ahead and put this thing on 10 meters. I wonder what's wrong now.
Sounds like that same distortion, but you'll find it. I'm not exactly sure where it is, but it seems to be peak related. It does seem to be peak related, more than lower level modulation, but it just sounds to me like something nonlinear in your output stage, Roger.
Like something nonlinear in your output stage, Roger.
Roger, I might have a problem. Oh, I don't know. I feel like I've got an awful lot of movement along the meters. I'm kind of scratching my head while it's doing that. It could probably be the sideband filters. There's a filter for upper and lower sideband in this radio, as you might well know. It could very well be I've got a sideband filter that's a little bit out of whack and just cutting off the top. Don't really know. I should probably hook the spectrum analyzer up, see if I can't tweak those filters to see where they're supposed to be.
Roger, Mike. Well, most people wouldn't even notice that. They really wouldn't. But it's there. But, like I say, it's not earth-shattering. It's nothing to, that you would have to write home about. That is the grace of age, Roger.
We say the grace of age, Roger.
I know that. I don't know what you're running, but you sure sound good. There's a station that been breaking a little bit ago.
Yes, sir. Well, this must be Friday the 13th because all the crazies are out this afternoon. Yes, matter of fact, it is Friday the 13th. And, probably has something to do also not only with the date, but the moon. It's like, howling at the moon for animals, but for amateur radio operators that are QRMers, it's just too much of a temptation to try to restrain themselves, Roger.
To try to restrain themselves, Roger.
Oh yeah, I think I've probably got one of the best dummy loads in the world as far as people want to tune into it. All right, well, I didn't catch the name. The name here is Mike, Mary India Kilo Echo. And I'm going to poke around this thing a little bit more. I'm thinking I might have a problem with the AGC. The S meter just bounces all over the place. I get no distortion in your strong signal, but the meter just goes from 5 to 20 over S9, just bounces back and forth. And it shouldn't do it. The AGC should hold that thing down steady, so I'll poke around the AGC circuit, probably find I got a bad and or leaky cap there in that AGC line. Here's Whiskey Baker 8, Victor Golf Echo.
Roger, Mike. Now, do you have a separate power supply for that radio?
Roger, Mike. Now, do you have a separate power supply for that radio?
Oh, yeah, we got the AC4. Go ahead, break station.
This is a controlled net, Mike. I just wanted to suggest that you might run a nice a nice clip ground or something between your two units, so you don't get in between them as you're working. There's nothing worse than 500 volts human fuse.
500 volts human fuse.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was controlled that. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, that's, we got a braided jumper between the power supply and the radio chassis. These old girls can get a little bit sparky at times. So, anyway, I'll let you get back to the net, and I'm going to go ahead and focus on a little bit more on this amplifier, this transceiver. Here's Whiskey Baker and Victor Golf Echo.
Roger, Mike 73, sir. Thanks for dropping by. And if you want to hear your radio, we are recording now live till 5. So if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,400 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and I'll have it posted by noon tomorrow. So just YouTube search for KC9VKV logbook will bring up this recording. 73, sir. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
KC9VKV, this is NA3P back again, November Alpha 3 Papa. I'm on my ST818 with my new microphone, over.
Oh, sounds pretty nice. Why don't you tell me about the best thing you like about your new mic?
Sounds pretty nice. Why don't you tell me about the best thing you like about your new mic?
Well, it's, number one, it was cheap. It's a Yaesu Vertex that I bought online from Japan. I think it's from Japan. It was cheap. Bought it online. It was cheap. And number two, changed out the stock mic, and the hams that were on the net told me this one sounds better than the stock mic. I also have a outboard speech compressor. Now this ST818 is old technology, does not have a built-in compressor, nor does it have a graphic equalizer inside the radio. So I'm doing the best I can. I've got the mic gain at 15, which is what we worked out last time I talked to you on this radio with my stock microphone. Haven't really changed anything. I do have an outboard compressor on this thing. That's about it for this radio. It's only punching out 45 watts to my end fed, over.
Roger, Dick, but you switch mics, and anytime you switch mics, you should always go back to your ALC and double check your level. That's one of those things. Your ALC is the Bible for your radio, and it'll tell you more about what's going on than your neighbor down the road, So anytime you switch mics, always go back to your ALC, and as you say the word audio, adjust your mic level until your ALC meter is running 2/3. So you'll reset your mic level to match the new microphone. Roger?
Reset your mic level to match the new microphone. Roger?
Roger. If you like, I can lower the ALC just a minute here. Give me 2 seconds here, and I will lower my ALC.
Roger. Well, you're actually lowering your mic level. Your ALC is monitoring the output from your limiter all the time. When you make modifications to the level of the ALC meter, it's through your mic gain. So I would suggest that whatever your mic gain was, maybe pull it down about 10% from what it was. The other way to do that is just key up, say the word audio, and adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3.
And adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3.
Roger.
See, the beautiful word about the word audio is that it is a consistent humanoidal test tone. I mean, and we used to say, speak quickly and adjust your mic level from mid-scale to 2/3. You know, but the better way to do that is just to say the word audio, and you have your mic gain in one hand, and you just adjust the mic gain until you're 2/3 on your ALC meter. And, you know, it can't be simpler than that.
On your ALC meter, and, you know, it can't be simpler than that.
Roger, Roger. Okay, I turned it down a little more. Now, did I turn it down too much? I've turned it down quite a bit, over.
All right, well, you know, Dick, listen to what I'm telling you, buddy. You can see exactly what you're doing on your ALC meter by using the word audio, elongating the first part of that, and adjusting your mic gain for 2/3, and that will set your level absolutely perfect.
Gain for 2/3, and that will set your level absolutely perfect.
Audio. Okay, I've got a very rudimentary ALC meter on here. It's, even though I've reduced my mic from 5 to 5, one out of 100. It's pretty low, over.
Exactly. So you want to bring it up. You want to bring your mic level up until your ALC meter is running 2/3. You know, that's past half, headed towards full, but only, you know, somewhere between half and full is 2/3. Roger, Roger? I mean, you know, in the scheme of things.
Full is 2/3. Roger, Roger? I mean, you know, in the scheme of things.
Okay, well, how do I sound now? How do I sound at this particular time, over?
It's hard to say. You know, I've got a copy on you, but gosh, I wish you would just, you know, double check your ALC level by using that word. You know, I mean, it's just so easy, and then you don't have to ask somebody how you're doing because you can see on your ALC meter that has been set at 2/3 that you are correct in your level. Roger, Roger.
Set at 2/3 that you are correct in your level. Roger, Roger.
Yeah, Roger, Roger. Well, right now, I've turned it down even further. 2/3 level now. I don't know. Did I overdo it on the? Probably at the 2. Did I overdo it on the low side, over?
All right, I've got you on my Georgia SDR, and I don't know why that is because you're in Virginia, but you're really sounding choice down in Georgia. So why don't you just tell me about your antenna system for 10 seconds, and I'll look at your audio. Roger, Roger?
10 seconds, and I'll look at your audio. Roger, Roger?
Okay, my antenna system basically is, let's see, it's a myantennas.com. It's a myantennas.com EFHW 8010 2K model. It's 130 feet long. It's 130 feet long, and it's fed with a 49-to-1 balun. And I have it mounted on my deck at 12 feet, going up to the top of a sycamore tree at about 50 feet, so it slopes upward across my backyard. It's not real high, but I do get very good results with this antenna on 80 through 10 meters. It doesn't tune 60, but it tunes just about every other band from 80 through 10, over.
Yes, Dick, that was a long 10 seconds. That was more like a minute. We'll never get done at that rate. Listen, I just need a short little 10-second piece when I'm checking something like that, you know. But why don't you bring your mic up about 10%. What is the current reading of your mic gain control at this moment?
The current reading of your mic gain control at this moment.
Right now it's 3. I'll bring it back up to about, it's back up to about 13. How about Friday 13? 13 right now out of 100. This compressor actually adds quite a bit to my mic gain. The external compressor gives it quite a bit of boost over.
Roger. Okay, well, here's the deal. When you start running outboard gear, what you want to do is make sure that you're not overloading or too low signal level going into your radio. So the best way to do that is take your inboard mic gain control and put it on a nominal level, like 5. If it's 0 to 10, put it on 5, half the level, midway on the mic gain control pot, and then adjust your outboard gear to 100% on your ALC. And that way you know that you're coming in at a level that is, a medium level on that mic gain control. If you come in too hot, you're going to distort. So you want to at least be mid-scale on your inboard mic gain control, and then get the rest of it out of your outboard equipment as far as what your AOC is doing at 2/3, Roger?
As far as what your AOC is doing at 2/3, Roger?
Yeah, Roger. I haven't broken this thing open to see what kind of internal adjustments I can make. I think there are some. If you take the cover off, I would have assumed that the company that makes these sets them probably would give them a setting that would work without having to open it up and monkey around with it, because there's no easy way to get to it. You have to open up the little case on this thing. But generally speaking, do I sound okay right now, over?
Oh yeah, that sounds really choice right there. Just out of curiosity, do you have any adjustment controls on the outboard black box?
Controls on the outboard black box?
I don't really know. I'll have to read the manual. Right now I can't tell unless I take the cover off of it. And looking at this thing, glued shut. I don't know. I don't think it's really made to open, over.
Now I'm talking about outboard controls. Is there any outboard controls on your outboard device? And I mean, as you look at this black box, does it have any control? Can you do anything with it, or is it just a black box with no controls apparent on it, Roger?
Box with no controls apparent on it, Roger?
It's a black box with no controls. There's just an on-off. They recommend you switch it off when you're on FM, but that's all on-off, and it's a little plastic enclosure. There's no screws or anything. It looks like you'd have to crack it open. I don't know if I want to do that. The black box is made in Germany, and it's also the same device is made by a company called Soda Beams, but I think they resell one that's made in.
Yeah, Roger there, Jake. I understand. Well, I think you're maximized at this point. Your audio sounds good. It's nice and full. It looks like you might be in compressed a slight amount, but it sounds good. Now, but if you take a long breath, it does have a little suck up. So you don't want to sit there and talk like that, because you'll hear it on the air. It'll be sucking up between the words. It's more compression than what I would normally say run, but I understand there is a fixed box, and so you are stuck with what it is, and it sounds really good, provided that you keep talking, Roger.
Provided that you keep talking, Roger.
Oh, Roger. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Probably good at picking up background noise, but it's better than being that this is a QRP rig and it has no built-in compressor. That's why they built these compressors, so you can get out a little bit when you're running QRP. Although I do run an external 50-watt amp with these 2-watt amp videos. I don't run them totally barefoot. I'm not a real big QRP fan. I got to get at least 40-50 watts to really enjoy myself. And all my other radios are connected to one kilowatt class linear, so I'm not really a QRPer, but I do like playing these little radios, over.
Oh yes, sir, and it does sound good. I wouldn't I would continue running it just like that. And if you want to hear it, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, you'll be able to hear it. I've heard you very well this last transmission. You were in earlier, Roger. Is that a Roger?
Last transmission. You were in earlier, Roger. Is that a Roger?
Yeah, Roger. Earlier today, I was looking at the YouTube and looking at all my old YouTubes where you've tweaked up all my radios, and it's very quite informative. I really like looking at your YouTube and hearing my audio. So I'll do that. Definitely do that tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, and see how this radio sounds. So very good. Well, thanks for giving me a little analysis there. These little FT-18s are nice radios. It's old technology, though, and Yaesu just discontinued. They just discontinued this model forever and ever. So they came out with the FT-817 about 20 years ago, and then they came out with the FT-818, and they shut it down. So it's a thing of the past, but great little radios for going portable use, things like that. Anyway, Jim, talk to you later, and thanks for your help. KC9VKV from NA3P.
Roger, Dick. Now, the first time you checked in with a 7410, and this last time that was an FD18, is that a Roger?
7410, and this last time that was, is that a Roger?
FT-818, Fox Tango 818, over.
Okay, Fox Tango 818, Roger. And is that a QRP radio?
Go 818, Roger. And is that a QRP radio?
Yes, it is. It's 6 watts output, and I have it connected to a Chinese amp called the Mike X-Ray-Papa 50 mic. Mike X-Ray-Papa 50 mic HF amplifier. It's just a little 45-watt amp outside of the QRP rig, over.
Yes, sir. Well, Dick, that audio is just fine for QRP because you really want to push your audio, and I think that's just perfect for your QRP radio. Roger.
I think that's just perfect for your QRP radio. Roger.
Oh yeah, it helps a lot, and I can run this thing on battery power out on a picnic table. Or do whatever I want. I have a satellite pack here. It's 2 of them stacked on top of each other, and I can use this for satellite work as well. It does 2 meter and 70 centimeter, so it's quite a versatile little radio.
Yes, sir. Now, your breath between words is at 0 level, the same level as your peaks. So it's a very fast recovery compressor, Roger.
Very fast recovery compressor, Roger.
Yeah, Roger, on the compression. Yeah, it probably is pushing it. I'll have to read the manual, see if there's some way to get in there and tweak it down. Like you say, set the radio at 50 and then tweak down the box, but I don't know if there's an internal screw in there or not. I'll have to do some research on that, over.
Yes, sir. Well, for QRP, that's just exactly perfect. Now, if you wanted to change the compression ratio, you just back off that mic about 4 inches, and that should take care of that and make that less compressed, Roger.
And make that less compressed, Roger.
Yeah, Roger that. Yeah, this is talking at about 4 inches from the mic, over.
Roger. Now, it does, it's less compressed, but you do have a little bit of room noise in there. I would only do that about half the distance that you just did, and that way you won't have any room noise to speak of, Roger, and it'll be less compressed.
Any room noise to speak of, Roger, and it'll be less compressed.
Yeah, Roger. Well, thanks for your help, Jim, and have a great day there. Coming up on 4/29, and there's probably any people out there who would like to get your assistance, so I think I'll back out of here. Have a great day, over.
Yes, sir, Dick. 73, sir. Have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. And like I say, if you go to YouTube, Excuse me, a cup of coffee there, a drink. Anyway, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, it will take you right to this recording, cut number 1 of 2400 Qso-Vlog recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. 73, Dick. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Juliet, KE3HJ.
Station ending in Juliet. Come back slowly, phonetically, with your call sign.
Come back slowly, phonetically, with your call sign.
November X-ray 8, Bravo.
Echo, number 3, Juliet. Edward, number 3,
Station ending in Juliet. I'm copying you, but there's quite a bit of stuff in there. So why don't you tell me about your antenna system just for a second, and let me see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Second, and let me see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Challenger vertical animal. So I appreciate that it might be a little difficult to get a good copy, but it's a 32-year-old gap Challenger that I'm running. Have you found a better path?
Okay, HJ, I got part of that. We have somebody that just, again, it's the full moon, Friday the 13th. It's got to be some kind of moon leaning that all the QRMers are out. I've got folks tuning up. I've got somebody, 1 KC off my frequency, just decided to plop in there. And, we've been on the air on this frequency for an hour, and they decided to, be 1 KC off and, start a band. But anyway, I am got a better copy. I got the best copy on you down in Arlington at the moment. One more time on that call sign, though, please, Roger.
Arlington at the moment. One more time on that call sign, though, please, Roger.
Yeah, Roger, Jim. The call sign is Kilo Echo number 3 Hotel Juliet. King Edward number 3 Honolulu, Japan. KE3HJ. Over.
Roger, HJ, I got you there. And what's the name?
Roger, HJ, I got you there. And what's the name?
Name here is Dave Delta Alpha Victor Echo Delta Alpha Victor Echo Dave near Pittsburgh, PA. Over.
Yes, sir. Dave in PA. And what radio are you running, sir?
Yes, sir. Dave in the PA, and what radio are you running, sir?
I'm running an old radio. I'm running my Pentec Omni 5, 35-year-old radio, and I have an external box on it for compressor and equalization. So hoping you can help me get that set up a little bit. Back to you, Jim.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I wonder why, the QRMers are out. I know it's Friday the 13th, but gosh, you would think the QRMers would be, more selective. I'm trying to help folks, and they're doing nothing but, disturbing the airwaves. You just wonder what drives them. They're just unpredictable, and just unfortunately we have to deal with them. It just doesn't make any sense. They do nothing constructive. They're just like a lump of coal. Unfortunately, they just don't appreciate communication, because I guess maybe they lack the ability to communicate, so then all they can do is run up and down with signal generators and just act like maybe a-holes. But, what the heck? You gotta deal with them, Dave. Anyway, that radio is sounding pretty good, sir. If I had a better copy on you, I could tell more. Roger?
If I had a better copy on you, I could tell more. Roger?
Yeah, Roger, Jim, and I agree 100% with what you're saying on the, get a life. I don't know. I won't go down the rabbit hole, but yeah, this is an old radio, but I have one of these UR6 from the UR6 has equalization and compression. Not seeing much compression right now, so I'm looking at the ALC, and all I have on this is an ALC meter, or ALC LED. I do not have a meter for compression, but I turn the compression up here just a little bit, and hopefully you can hear me enough to tell if I'm in the neighborhood. Jim, back to you.
Yes, sir. You look like 3 dB right there at that last setting. I would run it just like that. You have no distortion. Your compression level looks to be about right. You're running about 3 dB dynamic range, which means your average percent of peak modulation is 80 to 85%. I would maybe just click in a couple of clicks more top end EQ for clarity. Roger.
More top end EQ for clarity. Roger.
Okay, Jim, I can do that right now. Let me get here and turn that knob a little bit there for that. And turn this knob a little bit there for that. And so I've clicked in a little bit more top end, and hopefully that sounds okay. Back to you, Jim.
Yes, sir. I think that takes care of it nicely. I would get the Gorilla Tape and tape her down. If you want to hear it, if you go to YouTube and do that call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,400 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Roger.
Roger, Jim, and certainly appreciate the effort that you put forth and the service that you provide. Speaks very well of you, sir, and I appreciate it. Many do, and I want to wish you 73. Thanks very much for helping me with this. And like I said, it's a 35-year-old rig. Gee whiz, it's probably a 50-year-old mic. It's my enhanced steel, and I'm having some fun with it. So back to you, Jim 73. Thanks very much, and I do certainly appreciate it. KC9VKV 83HJ, over.
Roger, Dave. Now, if you could do me a favor, I'd appreciate it. If you could kind of look back and see who's close on my sidebands and ask them to move down a little bit. They're causing a lot of QRM on the net. So if they could move down 3K or up 3K, whatever it is, but I can't run off to find out where they are. But if you could check that out and just see if they would be so nice as to move up or down. We've been here for over an hour on this frequency as a network, and I would appreciate it if they could move up or down a little bit. Roger?
I would appreciate it if they could move up or down a little bit. Roger?
Yeah, I did that, Jim. I did that. He's going to move down. It's an Italian station, a station in Italy. He's going to move down. This is K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that, Roger.
Charlie, thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that, Roger.
Recurs, but we'll try to open up some space here, Jim. Back to you.
Yes, sir, Dave. 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and I think you'll like your recording as you swim through the QRM to hear it, Roger.
Recording as you swim through the QRM to hear it, Roger.
Roger, Jim. Thanks very much, 73, and catch you later, as they say here in Pittsburgh. This is KC3HJ. Back to KC9VKV. Sorry.
Roger, Dave. 73, sir. You have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. And Charlie is out on the air at KC9VK. K1GZL. Charlie, you got a copy now?
KC9VK. K1GZL. Charlie, you got a copy now?
Oh yeah, right now you're clear. You're clear. There was a station in Italy, and I said 1. He was on 87. He was on 87. I was able to get a hold of him on my cloud warmer, and he is going to move down. He was very, very cooperative. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Boy, it's like coming up for fresh air. I've been dealing with that for about 20 minutes now, and 1 KC off, man. And he signaled, you know, I don't know what his actual signal was because he was 1K off, but he was, you know, giving me like about 15 or 20 over on flat on my meter, Roger.
Flat on my meter, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. I was getting him at 9 to 5 over on my cloud warmer, but I could barely tell he was there on the quad. Okay, I just wanted to let you know that right now you're 20 to 30 over 9 direct. And I got a little bit of Captain Mike here. If you are copying okay, I would imagine I'm still good in Milford, I hope. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Looks like about 12 to 15 over on Milford at the moment. Sounding good. Go ahead.
Over on Milford at the moment. Sounding good. Go ahead.
Okay, here's Captain Mike, maybe a week ago.
872 miles from Phoenix. Yeah, Charlie, I went through Phoenix the other day, and I had a 15-minute turn. I landed in Phoenix, and I had to race across from one terminal to another to make the flight. I made it with 15 minutes to spare. I didn't even get a chance to wave goodbye to Jim out there in Arizona. And one day, Jim, hopefully I'll be able to give you a chance to swing by there and visit with you. KF7E, KX4, Whiskey Charlie. Good to hear you in there, Charlie. Yeah, you're booming in here, so fantastic conditions with that 98 watts. And understand Bob is packing up the amplifier there and about to send it off. When is it actually gonna go off and sent away to Ameritron there, Charlie? Brook at about 12:05 right over Northbrook, which is just northern Chicago there. But anyway, well, nice to hear you in there, Craig. And again, you're a 5'4". Charlie says he's not hearing you, but I'm sure you probably heard him. He's definitely very grateful and thankful for the dipole you're sending out there. And I know you were going to sign. Charlie, you're off frequency here. It sounds like you are. Check your freak there. How are you teamed up on 222? How you doing? Can you hear me?
Okay.
I got K1G Janelle, KX4 Whiskey Charlie on the ground, Philadelphia on 40 meters upper sideband. Charlie, you're 5'9", 59 into Philadelphia. Nice weather right now, a little overcast, but nice temperature here today. Showing about plus 16 C. K1G Janelle, KX4 Whiskey Charlie.
I hope you copied that. Go ahead, Jim. K1G Janelle.
Roger, Charlie, just a perfect copy. Even at your reduced power, you're still very good on Milford, Roger.
Your reduced power, you're still very good on Milford, Roger.
Okay, Roger. And by the way, the temperature has slipped to 28 degrees. It's 90% dark here at the moment. And I'm reading 443. 443. And I think I'm getting about 65, 70 watts output here. That's all I'm running. The SWR is pretty high, way up the band when it is wet. Jim, a pleasure. I'll turn it back to you, and we'll try to catch you next week. Hopefully, by then I might have the amp on, maybe not. We'll have to see. K1GZL. Go ahead, Jim.
Roger, Charlie, thank you so very much. I hope your last weekend, your last Friday, turned out well for you, Roger.
Last weekend, your last Friday, turned out well for you, Roger. Yeah, I did have situations where they were looking me over very carefully, and I had the drainage. I had to get the water out of my subcutaneous. In other words, underneath the skin, I had built up quite a bit of water on the legs,
a bit on the arms, a bit on the stomach, and totally I have lost 20 pounds, and that's what they wanted to see. They wanted to see, so that worked out. That worked out real fine. Okay, Jim, this worked out. I'll say 7-3, and here's your signal.
Charlie. I hope your last weekend, your last Friday, turned out well for you, Roger.
2 weeks from...
That's Captain Mike. Okay, a little heterodyne, but you were a beautiful copy, peaking as much as 30 over direct right at the moment, Jim, and I'm sure you're hearing me direct at the present. KC9VKV, K1GZL. Sorry we had to go through all that business earlier. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, that's part of life moving west. 73, Charlie. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and a pleasure. You have just a beautiful day today. Catch you later. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net, and we're going around the horn. Right now we're listening down in Georgia on our SDR. Anybody down in Florida, Georgia, Alabama? This is KC9VKV listening.
Georgia, Alabama, this is KC9VKV listening.
Move up to Milford, PA. This is KC9VKV. Anybody up around Pennsylvania?
This is KC9VKV. Anybody up around Pennsylvania?
And nothing heard. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And on the 74... Let's see what this is here. I got a message. The ICOM 7610, there's this great little feature called Drive. I always use it in my setup procedure. You may have been listening when I've directed someone to adjust their drive. Well, Drive is basically a transmit audio dynamic range cruncher. Available only, as I see it, on the 7610. I was introduced to Drive by Al, W9ALS, on a Qso-Vlog we had back in October of 2018. We did a very extensive hands-on test of Drive on that show, all the way up to 100% of its capabilities, which was an amazing half a dB of dynamic range. And if you might be interested in hearing this test, just go to YouTube and do a search for KC9VKV Drive. That's 2 words, KC9VKV Drive, and it was an amazing test drive at that. And another way of getting to that would be to Romeo Sierra 1805 on Jim's radio story. It's Romeo Sierra 1805. This is KC9VKV, Friday afternoon, Qso-Vlog net. We've got about 12 till, and we've been recording since 3:30, so if you want a radio check, give me a shout now, Roger.
Kilo Charlie 9, November, Romeo, Oscar, portable.
Kilo Charlie 9 station, come back with your call phonetically, please.
Kilo Charlie 9er, November, Romeo, Oscar. November, Romeo, Oscar, portable.
Roger, November, Romeo, Oscar, portable. And where are you portable, sir?
I'm at a state park called Turkey Run State Park in Indiana. The park number is Kilo 2272 for reference. But doing some camping here. We just got set up today, and it's basically western Indiana, near the state of Illinois.
Yes, sir. I've got you on my 0 degree 10-foot vertical magnetic loop. I have 3 10-foot vertical magnetic loops. I use them as scanner antennas, and they have rotary switches, and I can go through them in about a half a second to find out what's hot and what's not. And you're coming in, looks like about 12 to 15 over. Roger, roger.
Roger, roger, 12 to 15 over. Yeah, you're booming in here. Got my infed going up into the trees out here in the woods, and here's the first contact for the weekend.
Roger, roger. Well, glad to be there, and we usually do setups, but I'll mark you down as a radio check or check in. Roger.
Roger that. Roger that. Audio sounded good, I take it.
Oh yes, sir. We could work on it, but I know that you don't have the. You'll probably be hanging by your left arm in the breeze out there on a remote location, so I know that you really probably wouldn't want to try doing your tune-ups there. But maybe next Friday, if you're on your base, maybe give me a shout and we'll take it from there. Roger, roger.
Well, I'm inside of a camper and it's warm in here, so I could do some tweaking if you thought I needed it.
Yes, sir. Well, the first thing would be to be sure that you're in that 100 to 2900 bandpass. What radio are you running, sir?
I got a KX3, PX3, KX, PA100 set up.
Roger, roger. Well, is that an older radio or newer radio? What I'm saying is we usually want to be in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth, if you have options on that. Roger?
Yeah, it's been a while. I know I do have transmit equalizing I can do in the menus. Might take me a minute to find it.
Yes, sir. This is a transmit bandwidth that has to do with, how wide you are. Modern receivers, transceivers, have the capability of doing 100 to 2900. Some of the older radios were 2.4K restricted, and the ones after that were 2.7K restricted, and so the new ones are 2.9K, 100 to 2900. But you might make a note and check that at a later time. The other part would be, we usually suggest that one run their compressor, a token amount, like a 3. It's something that you'll never hear on the air, but it helps on the total modulation index slightly, and that would be, depending on how your input to your compressor is labeled. If it's a 0 to 10, we would want it on a 3. If it's 0 to 100, we would want it on a 30. Roger?
Roger, roger. On the 3, I'll have to get my manual out and do a little digging. It's been a while. Pardon me, that's a good call. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done the compression and the mic gain.
Yes, sir. Well, maybe take notes there. What's the name there?
Name is Greg. Home station is Indianapolis, Indiana.
Roger, Greg. Okay, maybe just to take notes. The first note would be to double check you're in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth, or the best that radio can do, whatever that might be. Then your compressor on at a 3. It's a token amount. You'll never hear it on the air, but it helps. So it's a compressor on at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how it's labeled. Then move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, spoken just as you would speak any other word in a QSO, audio, elongate the first of the word audio, and you become a human test tone. And with the mic gain in hand, adjust your ALC to where it's running 2/3. 2/3 on your ALC by way of mic gain control. As you say the word audio, you become a human test tone. Roger?
Roger that, roger that. I backed my mic gain down to 20. I had it on 25. Audio.
Right, sir. And as you look at your ALC, you do that, and just 2/3 is the magic position for that ALC to be in for that word as you adjust your mic gain.
Yeah, I know there is a procedure in the manual talking about what to do, and recall setting that up initially, but again, I had to dig the manual out. It's one of them things, once you get it set, I think you leave it. And it seemed like 25 was a good setting for me at the time.
Yes, sir. Well, it's all relative. If you change mics, you need to go back and set your ALC. And there's 1,000 different ways to set your ALC, and some of these books are so stupid. They really are stupid about, the way they tell you to set up. My way is just, you get your compressor in there. It's very difficult to set your level, then go back and adjust your compressor. That's weird. Because that compressor input is going to affect the level. So, you set what you're going to do on the audio and then adjust your modulation level on your ALC for 2/3. That's the way I look at it, and that's our generic setup. Roger?
Yeah, QSL. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I pushed the compressor button to get the ALC, and my ALC is within the limits. And compression looks like about 10 on my scale. 10-20 is the scale, so I'm doing about 10.
Roger. Do you have an input control for your compressor, like a control, a pod or something?
I believe so. Let me play with this one here and see what that does. Turn that down, and it went down. And we'll turn it back up, going up, up.
Yeah, you went through some kind of an EQ shift there somewhere. It really, your baseline came up quite a bit as you were doing whatever you were doing for a moment, then it dropped out. So I'm not real sure, Roger, but I would say go back to where you were.
Okay, back it down a little bit, back it down. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, back it down.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think there's another station. Go ahead for a moment.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I'm just trying to connect with a friend of mine here, Kilo Charlie 3 Alpha Mike. I want to be on frequency, and then we'll quickly switch off.
We've been here for about an hour, almost an hour and a half, and I don't recognize that call sign, but go ahead and call for him if you would like.
Yeah, no, I thank you so much for I just picked this frequency. We were trying to make a connection on another band, and we couldn't do it, so I told them to come here. It's the Kilo Charlie 3 Alpha Mike. Are you on frequency?
Roger, KC9VKV here, 192. KC9VKV here, how about we go up to 192, 192.
Perfect, 192. Okay, thank you so much, gentlemen, for letting us break in. I really appreciate it. This is Kilo Charlie 2, Echo Sierra, QSY.
Echo Sierra, 73, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. 4 minutes till 5. We were just in Qso with Greg, and just wrapping up there on his KX3. Roger, Greg.
Wrapping up there on his KX3. Roger, Greg.
Hey, sounded good. I was just curious what kind of radio you operate and the microphones you're using.
This is this is a highly modified Yaesu 990, and this is a homebrew condenser microphone into an ART preamp, into the highly modified 990. That's transmit and receive. It's good down to 100 cycles up to 29. Roger.
Good down to 100 cycles up to 29. Roger.
Yeah, you have a real good audio and nice and basic.
Roger, sir. Well, let me say 73 to you, sir. Thanks for dropping by, and I wish you a lot of luck in your portable endeavors in the park there, Roger.
A lot of luck in your portable endeavors in the park there, Roger.
I appreciate your time, and have a good day, and good luck. Appreciate helping people out.
Roger, Greg, 73, sir. This is KC9VKV. Got time for one more radio. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
One more radio. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
November 1, London. What about this here radio?
November 1 station. Go ahead with your call sign one more time phonetically, please.
Go ahead with your call sign one more time phonetically, please.
Hi, Jim. KC9VKV from November 1, London, Quebec, and 1LQ.
Roger LQ, and what's the name there?
Roger LQ, and what's the name there?
The name is Dave, Denmark Able Victoria Echo, located 20 miles north of Boston, Massachusetts. Jim, over.
Roger Dave in Massachusetts, and what radio are you running, Dave?
Roger Dave in Massachusetts, and what radio are you running, Dave?
We last talked to you back in June on this rig, and I've made some changes to it. This is an unusual radio which is made in Eastern Europe. It's called an RGO-ONE, an RGO-1, designed and built in small quantities by LZ2JR. Name is Boris. I'm running, it has very few audio adjustments. I'm running 30% mic gain, about 60% ALC. Jim, over. This is about 100 to 2900, Jim, over.
Yes, sir. It looks really good. I would put a little more top end in there. And what is the nominal output of the RG1?
And what is the nominal output of the RG1?
It is generally 50 watts, which I'm running right now, 50 watts, which surprisingly works well. Even on DX, I've been very pleased with the results, over.
Yes, sir. I would just add a couple of clicks of top-end treble EQ, additional from where you are, 2 clicks additional treble EQ from where you are. Everything else, I think, looks just beautiful, Roger. And for 50 watts, you're booming.
Everything else, I think, looks just beautiful, Roger. And for 50 watts, you're booming.
Well, thank you very much. It's been, I've had this radio since May of 2020. He bills them in lots of about 20. Sells them exclusively over the internet. He was at Dayton in 2018 or 19, I'm not sure which. And it's a lot of fun. It's smaller than a 7300 ICOM. It does not have any kind of screen or pan adapter other than a digital display. But I'll be interested to hear tomorrow what it sounds like, because I've never actually heard it over the air. Okay, Jim, I'll let you run. Thank you. Always a pleasure to check in. And we thank you for your assistance. KC9VKV from N1LQ. Good cheer and good weekend to you, Jim.
Roger, Dave, you have some inconsiderate QRMers there that just have to get their jollies. Unfortunately, it is Friday the 13th, so you know, what can I say? But David, that radio really sounds good, and your 3 dB dynamic range, which means your average percent of peak modulation, is somewhere around 80 to 85%. So it really sounds nice. I think you'll like the recording outside of the QRM stuff. So 73, Dave, and have a great afternoon, a beautiful weekend, and I'll have this uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. So if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2400 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. 73, sir. And gosh, I see by the clock on the wall there's a dead fly. So we got to get out of here. We've enjoyed it. Hope you have. If you participated and would like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do that call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording. I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So it's a YouTube search, KC9VKV logbook, and I'll have it loaded up by noon tomorrow. So 73 all, and we will be returning this frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is KC9VKV clear.
This is KC9VKV clear.
Nah, you're not. You got to talk to KK4CZ for just a second.
Hey, Brock, how's it going over there, sir?
But David, that radio really sounds good. Hey, Brock, how's it going over there, sir?
Pretty good. That's $1,200, a $15 karaoke mic, and a AL80B amplifier, and a dipole.
Yeah, I have QRMers on the frequency. They have, it's Friday the 13th, so it's just beyond their capability to withhold themselves from QRMing. Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Well, I could push in another amplifier right next to it, but 1,000 watts is probably enough. All right. Hey, see you later, man. Been kind of watergating on you a little bit.
And my voice is about to give up, so I'm going to have to get out of here. See you later, 73. This is Brock, not Obama, KK4CZ, Lousywille, Kentucky.
Roger, Brock, and I finally got a good recording of you. Hopefully, I haven't checked my playback yet, but I hope you're there. And if so, if you want to hear it, your beautiful audio, if you go to YouTube and do that call in a search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, will take you right to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,400 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Good to hear you, sir. 73.
Yeah, those are all down. There's another one in there asking for you. I think. I'm not sure. See you later.
Roger, Brock, 73. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. If there's another station there, go ahead, please.
Big Bad Code 3. Before they go, I just want to say Happy New Year. Before they go, I just want to say Happy New Year.
It's Sam. What am? Sam, good to talk to you, sir. 73 up that way.
What am? Sam, good to talk to you, sir. 73 up that way.
73 for us, the way back. I've got BX audio, so don't chastise me at the moment. I'm doing a little bit of it's a hard audio place, but it's fantastic to hear. Always putting two hands together and praying to the big fella upstairs. Make sure your 1 and 4 Dorset tones are heard on the frequency. Bless you and your household. And God bless America. Code 3, Sugar Sue, your mother Sam. G'day.
Roger, Sam. 73 up Northland. Beautiful signal. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and if you want to hear your great audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. 73 all. We got to get out of here. That dead fly is still dead. 73, and this is KC9VKV clear.
73, and this is KC9VKV clear.
73, brother.
Roger.
G'day. B3, say that.
Sam, I wish I could get out just half as good as you do.
Sam, I wish I could get out just half as good as you do.
Well, you know what? I'm running 85 watt, and it's all about the antenna. It took me a year to design it, and it's really 2 delta loops. That's what it is, and they join together at the top 9 inches apart. I use insulators either side of the mast. At 30 sleep. I wouldn't want to go on changing the radiation. And it just one's west, one's east, and it looks like a bow tie. And I feed it right in the corner, very conveniently, right on the bottom corner. 250 to 300 of those, and it's absolutely tickety-bird. So it works all bands. If you make it 300 feet, it works 80 through 10, and I've done all of it for data through 10. And I've done all of it for data by VA3XV Randish, and it's staggering. So this one's cut just for 40 meters, and it's a Canon on 15 too. So you're obviously working with a harmonic. It works out, and that's all it is. And yep, pretty much. And we're not at a great height. We're about sea level. B3, that's it.
Roger, Sam. Well, it's just beautiful. There was no fading, nothing. Just solid. If you want to hear it, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, will take you right to this recording, cut number 1 in a series of 2,400, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger.
I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger.
Roger. That's fantastic to hear your great service to the amateur radio fraternity and your family to a lot of us, and it's absolutely thought you wonderful what you did for all of us, and we appreciate and love you, and always wish great things for you, mate. That's KC9VKV.
Roger, Sam, and you are 3 dB dynamic range, which means your average percent of peak modulation is between 80 and 90%, somewhere in there. That's average. Really nice audio, and the clarity, the tonality is just perfect. So enjoy, and we'll catch you next Friday. 73 all. This is KC9VKV, clear.
73 all. This is KC9VKV, clear.